Welcome back to another Great League episode here. We're going to be running the Defense Deoxys with the Umbreon and Sableye. So kind of a ABB team in a sense. We are met with the Venusaur in the front. This Venusaur does try to catch a Psycho Boost. Now we're going to be going for our Sableye switching, and we don't have to show the first one. Here we're going to be throwing this Foul Play. Foul Play does take out the Defense Deoxys, so that's great. But the Venusaur already had a move, so we had to let that go. And now we have a decision to make. Are we going to come back in with the Defense Deoxys, or do we come in with the Umbreon? We decided to come back in with the Defense Deoxys because we had energy on it, and this first Psycho Boost will do the biggest amount of damage. And it's a play by my opponent right there on catching the second Psycho Boost. And then here we have the Umbreon versus the Gligar. And then it looks like either they lagged out or they just quit. Yeah, Umbreon is very tanky in this situation, so we would have been able to tank a bunch of their moves. And we had 2 shields. And you can see these Foul Plays do a good chunk. Each Foul Play here probably is doing close to 20% of the Gligar, so we probably only needed 4 Foul Plays at that point, and plus we had a Defense Deoxys relatively healthy, so I don't know if it would have changed things, but it looks like our opponent has left. So GG's to our opponent right there. I don't know. On to the next one. Let's see what we get matched up with here. Just a quick note, the Sableye switching potential is exactly why we have the Umbreon. So the Sableye being switched in would be really good against the Deoxys and our Sableye because they would get the one fast move advantage. So that's why we have Umbreon here. So here we have the Pelipper versus Defense Deoxys. We go for the Thunderbolt here just to get a shield. Our opponent ends up staying in. They throw the Hurricane, which is fine. And then they're going to be throwing another move here. This is definitely the Weather Ball. Not enough time to get to another Hurricane. And then looks like they are just going to be throwing a bunch of Weather Balls here just to whittle this Umbreon down. And then since we have a ton of energy now, we're going to be throwing this Foul Play at this Venusaur. It looks like we're going to get this Foul Play out. Do we have... Okay, we actually just switch. And then we're going to go for the Psycho Boost here to either get a shield or KO. They actually invest their last shield. So, job well done by the Deoxys. We are going to shield here so that we can take out... Oh, never mind. Looks like they are going to be able to throw another Frenzy Plant and take our Deoxys. But this is low enough now, so we are able to come in with our Sableye and farm down. Here we have a decision made. Is this the Earthquake or is the bait? We think it's the bait, but we called it incorrectly. So that's huge Earthquake damage right there. So not good for us right there, but we have a potential to catch, which is exactly what happens here. We do catch a Rock Slide. So we have a sliver of health. We're going to go for this Foul Play here. This Foul Play ends up taking out this Stumpus, and we are at another Foul Play. So is this going to be enough for the KO? No, barely not enough. Wow. Yeah, just ran out of health, and I ended up with a shield. So somehow, some way, I guess we were supposed to always shield that Stumpus versus Sableye matchup. So GG's to our opponent right there. Next, we are met with the Galvantula. It is a big core breaker for our team, so we're just going to stay in, tank the first lunge, and then switch on to the Sableye. Basically, we're trying to do as much damage as possible to the Galvantula, so later on we can just take it out. Here we get switched into the Swampert. We don't get to the second Foul Play, which is a little bit unfortunate. We basically want this Swampert low enough so we can farm down with something, so that's why we shield here. And then we're going to try to get to another move. Are we going to get to it? No. But this Swampert is in the red, so we have that going for us. We're going to decide to come in with the Umbreon because we're going to have to tank some moves. There goes the first Hydro Cannon. They're probably going to throw the next Hydro Cannon right before we get to the move. Yep, makes sense. They go for the Earthquake, so we know that they're energy dry. Oh, but they are able to get to another Hydro Cannon here, forcing us to shield and farm down. Alright, so this is where the energy of Umbreon should come in handy. We're going to throw this Foul Play after their one Volt Switch, take it out. Okay, and then we have a good amount of energy left over to throw back at this Frostlass. We get to another Foul Play here. This is going to do super effective damage, probably like 70%, yep. And then we immediately switch out, and we do get to the Thunderbolt right there. So GG's to our opponent. We are going to be able to farm this down. We did get saved by that Umbreon. The Umbreon, having all that energy, ended up being pretty valuable for us. Unfortunately, we had to use a shield against that Swampert, and we had to just go down that last part of the game without any shields. Here we are going to switch into the Umbreon. This Umbreon is going up against this Registeel. We are able to tank one Focus Blast, so we always let the first one go. And now we're just going to see if we can get to these Foul Plays. The Foul Play does a decent amount, but we decided to let this go because we are thinking we want to farm with this Deoxys. It looks like we are not able to farm it all the way down before they get to a move, so we try to catch a move here. Ends up being the Zap Cannon. Definitely got the debuff, unfortunately. We have to just go for these Foul Plays at this point, and I don't know, at this point this is looking really tough to come back from, considering they still have all 3 and 2 shields. This is going to be a really tough situation. In hindsight, we should have shielded more with the Umbreon versus Registeel matchup. We at least could have got the Registeel low enough with 1 shield in that matchup to farm down with the Deoxys. So a little bit unfortunate right there. We are met with the Sableye, and they're just going to farm us down. So GG's. Nice play by them. Kind of a hard team to come back from when you don't have the alignment. That game especially, our only chance was to try to win back switch. Okay, here we are met with the Lowland Executor here. This is going to be an interesting game. We switched into our Umbreon. We are met with the Registeel. We just learned from the last matchup we need to at least shield once. We're going to let this first one go. We are able to survive any of the first moves, so that's why we let that one go. And here we're going to be throwing this Foul Play here. It does, I don't know, 15%? 15, 10%, something like that. And you can see the most damage, obviously, Registeel is throwing is the charge move. So we're going to shield here, and we're going to try to build up to 2 Foul Plays. We do throw this Foul Play right before we get to another move. So it makes the decision hard for my opponent. So they actually just let it go, and then they come back in with the Executor once we come in with our defense Deoxys. And then now we're just going to throw this Thunderbolt here to get at least 1 shield. Luckily for us, we are able to get to a Thunderbolt and a Psycho Boost, so this is going to do huge damage. Oh, we actually get another shield, so that's really good. So looking good here. We have a shield, we have a Umbreon for a potential sack swap, and then we have the Sableye here. That could have been a Blast Burn. Because it wasn't a Blast Burn, we know that they're going to throw the Blast Burn pretty quickly, so we immediately switch it and we catch the move. So GG's to our opponent right there. That was pretty much the game. We were able to catch that Blast Burn, and now we just get to race to this Foul Play and take out this Lonely Executor. So interesting team that they had, and that is GG's. So check out this team if you haven't already, and hope you enjoyed the video.